Hi guys.
Hi guys.
My name is Nino.
And my name is Lulu.
And this is Thriving at Love
and Relationship.
Welcome to Thriving at Love
and Relationship.
Welcome to yet another episode.
Welcome.
Now remember how we said at the beginning of this season we'll take you into a lot of more stories behind the scenes of what you guys see as Nino and Lulu, all our 5 steps to this, 6 steps to this, 10 steps to this. Before we go to these steps, we went through all these things, and there are some of issues that we've had that every other couple will have, but we just want to use some of our experiences to just let you know that it's normal for couples to go through disagreements, but it's how you come out of those disagreements that matter. So today's topic, we'll be taking you through how my wife and I...
Mostly his wife.
we didn't talk for 48 hours. That's 2 days.
Yes.
Nothing said to...
Can we just clarify? No, now, babe. It's not that nothing was said to each other.
But what?
It's the fact that we didn't talk as we normally would talk for 48 hours. I said we're not talking.
Maybe you were talking to yourself.
The truth is that we did not talk as much as we used to, or that we normally would for 48 hours. But we're talking. I want in the same house. Good morning. How are you? What do you want to eat?
Because those questions need to be asked. You need to ask me how I need to eat. But that one, I will talk.
No, they're not blessing. We're Malice skippers.
I'm not too proud.
But yeah, for 48 hours, we had an impasse.
Yes.
Is that the right way to use that word?
We're at an impasse.
It's an impasse, yes.
Yeah. So, and what was the fight about, my wife?
First of all, I like to object to this session.
Because
this is really me just opening my ass in public.
Open it. Where the public's...
Pardon. Opening my behind in public.
Yeah, everybody knows I look at it. Yeah. Spill the tea.
So, the reason why we did not talk for 48 hours was because of a deficiency in my personality type. For lack of a better word.
I won't call it deficiency. It sounds so harsh.
Okay.
Let's say because of some of the weaknesses that
deficiency, weakness, baby, is the same.
It's the same grammar, but it's different. Some of the shortcomings is better than
deficient. Sorry. Some of the shortcomings
that arises as a result of this personality.
And this personality type I'm talking about is the amiable, peaceful, phlegmatic. Yeah. So that was what this spice is about. Okay, so I'll get into it. First of all, nobody should judge me. If you judge me, God will judge you. Anyway, so what happened was that my darling, beautiful, handsome, wonderful husband had gone through the hassle of getting me a visa appointment. And he had gone through all the processes, the documents, whatever. And all I was meant to do was to remember my appointment date and submit 2 documents. And I forgot. My appointment date. I forgot the fact that I was meant to submit 2 documents. And now you might ask me, how did you forget? I don't just know. I kept on procrastinating. Oh, I'll get it done. Eventually, till I then forgot about it. He called me, I think he called me a day or 2 days. A day before the appointment. I was like, babe, what was it? Okay, I was even in a work meeting and he kept on calling me. I was like, why is this guy calling me? I beg, I'm in a meeting. I was about to type, I'm in a meeting. And then he called me again. I said, okay, let me just pick this con. And as I picked con, I was like, babe, I'm in a meeting. He just said, isn't your appointment tomorrow? Have you submitted your... I said, but the appointment is, maybe let's say the date was 16. I was like, it's tomorrow 16th. That was the most foolish question I could have asked. Because
I've never wanted to cut the call on somebody so bad in my life.
And then I was like, oh, it's tomorrow the 16th. And he was like, I can't remember what you said. And then I was like, oh, baby, I didn't even know whether I should apologize then or I should just shut up and do what I needed to do. And so I started scrambling like a lost fowl, trying to get the documents I needed. And the person that was meant to get me the documents was stalling, and all of that happened. Eventually, thank God I was able to make my appointments. But because of that singular action, it caused a big problem in our marriage. One. Secondly, it cost me, I think, 60,000 naira that I could have not paid for because I forgot to get these documents, and then I had to upload them manually at the embassy, blah, 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 blah. So that was the fight that ensued. So that was the problem.
I'm listening to you.
And now that's it now. So anyway, after that happened, right, normally I should apologize properly. So after it happened, I just texted him. I'm like, oh, babe, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry that I forgot. Because I didn't know how to start apologizing, because I knew the hassle he had gone through. I knew the work he had done. And all I needed to do was just remember my dates and submit 2 documents. He had like 7 documents he had to submit, and he had already gotten it done. My husband is there's a task to do. We do it now. We move forward. Me, my own is, there's a task to do. You know what? We'll get around it to when things are a bit more convenient, And sometimes I never get to the convenience of time, and sometimes I forget. And this was like one action that could have caused us a lot of money, because imagine if he didn't remember, I could have lost that date, and then that's another application all over again, And especially because he had put some strings with some of his contacts. So it was like, on his own end, it was a thing of, I don't know how to explain it, but do you want to explain how it was from morning?
Yeah, I think on my own end is there are some contacts I pulled, and they're very important contacts, and it's not people that you can just say, oh, I'm coming tomorrow, and so they got us the thing in good time. The process was seamless, where other people have to queue and do a lot of things. They got us seamless process and everything, and we spent money for it. So I think for me it was like, how do I, after I begged this person has gone through hoops to help me, how do I go and meet him and say, my wife didn't show up, she didn't show up for the appointment.
Or that she forgot to.
Like, what do I even say? Like, how is it going to look on me and my family and my household? I was just thinking about it. I was like, now wow. Yeah, so yeah, that I think that was majorly it for me. And after that happened, because it's something that I had complained about prior that. So I mean, if for example, like she said about her personality, so if you're a phlegmatic, one of the things you might struggle with is procrastination. Also, you might be a little less enthusiastic to get like tasks
just laid back
done, and it can affect a lot of other things. So I think we had quarrels about it, how maybe we have to do, maybe we want to record or want to do something, and I'm like bang 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 bang, and it might be a little bit more
taking my time,
laissez-faire about it. So sometimes it make me look like as if I'm always the one that is carrying everything on my head, and the things that we're talking about, the things that concern both of us. So, so I think that was it. And after that, we didn't talk for like.
So I had apologized, but I had not apologized properly, right? Which is why a lot of things were still lingering.
Yeah, so
in the background.
Just basically, when she apologized, I mean, I didn't think the apology was satisfactory.
Yeah.
And I think this was because
I sent a text.
Yeah, it was such a major thing, but she had apologized profusely via text. And
did I apologize profusely?
You apologized at different intervals.
Okay, yeah.
So she was apologizing, but I think it would have meant more to me, especially because of the gravity of how I thought the situation was, if it was done in person.
Yeah.
So after she apologized, I was just like, whoops. Yeah, so we just basically did it semi-made up, but I still had small whatever in my chest.
And that small thing that was in his chest, that became full-blown in another situation. So we thought everything was cool and nice. And this was during the time when Nigeria was going to play their final match. And so we're driving home, and then I was saying, oh, babe, where are we going to watch the match at? And I was like, what do you mean by we? I'm going to go and watch the match with my colleagues. And I actually did feel hurt, because I was like, it's Nigeria's final match. Like, shouldn't we watch it together? But he wasn't getting it. He was just like, I don't understand why you doing all this wee. It's not like you like to watch football. And me and my colleagues are going to go and watch the football. And he just couldn't get it and just kept quiet. So when we got home, I now said how, no, babe, I actually didn't like the fact that, you had dismissed my feelings, and then you actually said something, and then I could see that he was angry. I was like, why are you angry? Like, it's not like what I've said. I've said it in a disrespectful way, or I've said it in a way that you can't receive it, right? Because I made sure I took my time to calm down and then just say it as per a gisting kind of thing. I was wrong. Why is this guy angry like this? That's how my husband gave me the shocker of my life. After I finished saying what I said, he said what did you even say again?
I can't remember what I said.
Long and short of the story, Sha told me how, babe, I'm sorry, but your feelings don't matter in this case. I said,
No, I was talking about how, I forgot what you're saying, but it doesn't make sense. Football is my thing. It's a guy's thing. Guys like to watch football with other guys. Like, if I'm there with her, it won't be. Maybe something happens. She's asking me a question that.
But I'm not even that kind of football.
You're not that kind of football body, but because I had watched this, so I had watched the semi-finals with my colleagues, and we had a good time, and there was so much passion and everything, and I felt like we might not be able to have that whatever in the final and
Please zoom into my face.
So yes, and she was like, but I'm just telling you how I feel. I said. This is football. Your feelings don't matter. Can I have one thing that is my own, that you don't have to bring your wee feelings into it?
When I heard your feelings, I was like, what? And it hurts me so much because this is something that we've made a rule between us, that no matter how much you don't understand what the other person is saying, never dismiss their feelings. Never make them feel unheard. So for him to say that, at first I was angry. I was like, every time my feelings don't matter, and we were going back and forth about it. And then I realized, you know what? There is more to this thing, because it's almost like you're using a hammer to kill a cockroach. It's like, what I'm saying, the gravity and the level of response I'm getting seems like there's something deeper to this one. So I now come and said, no, it's not even about, because he now apologized. And I was like, it's not really about the apology. It's about the fact that I feel like there's something deeper to this conversation that we need to get to the root of. And he was like, no, that there's nothing deeper. There's nothing there. Let's just focus on what is happening. I said, there's no how we can focus on what's happening when there's something else. And then I kept on pushing and pushing. And then he was so reluctant. And then when he now spoke, I realized why he was reluctant, because he didn't want that situation to now be a situation of, instead of him apologizing, I'm not the one apologizing, because he's bringing back something old, right? And so the thing that was really on his chest was the fact that he had not gotten over the whole visa issue. And he had allowed it to linger. And then it now escalated into another issue else. Totally. And this is really what happens, if we're even being honest. When people usually say, first of all, I think it's even two things. It's the fact that, number one, there are some issues that you can never resolve before you go to bed. How do we say, resolve every issue?
In fact, funny enough, according to Gottman Institute, they said you have two types of quarrels. There are unresolved quarrels, and there are quarrels that you can resolve. That either is 67% or 87% of all conflicts within couples are unresolved. So instead of trying to resolve the conflict, you have to try and manage them, because there are some particular ideological issues that you might not agree on, but you just find a way to manage it so it doesn't cause, So just to add to what you're saying about some unresolvable conflict, because there's some things that we have quarreled about that we don't agree. But we understand both parties, and we don't make it. On from So I think that's what happened. This one wasn't like one of those unresolvable.
Yes.
But the genesis of this thing was the previous conflict we had. I was the party that felt hurt or offended, and I didn't feel like the apology was satisfactory enough, and I didn't want to have to tell her how to apologize the right way.
And that now brings me to the second part of what I was going to say, that many times couples, or let me not even generalize and say couples, but many times there are situations where there is a conflict, and one person, because they are trying to manage the situation, they don't fully express how they are feeling about it, right? And then they just push it under the carpet, and then eventually it always comes up. And when it now comes up, it's not like, this small thing I did.
Exactly, and that's because depending on the personality type of the person or how the person is set up, some people. Usually when you get married, there's usually one side of the marriage, one couple that or be one person that doesn't like conflict as much as the other person. So one person is usually trying to, maybe they just had a big fight and there's another fight coming. So that one is just trying to avoid it. So instead of...
So is that you or is that me?
So you like to avoid conflicts. I'm not like to talk about things head on. You know, so I think at the time you were like, this thing is a big thing. So you just apologize. But I, at that point in time, didn't want to. So I think at that time, because we were going to travel, I didn't want us to have another major conflict right before we travel. So that's why I didn't make a big deal out of it. So it was when the Nigerian thing happened, everything now blew out in that regard. You know, so I think the major thing was because one quarrel was not settled and it seeped into the other.
And the truth is that when it did happen, I started thinking to myself, we need to do counseling. I mean, whenever quarrels like this happen, I just always go to the extreme, like, oh my God, how are we going to resolve this? This is so big, you know, and when we just both calm down, we realize that this thing can be settled between both of us. So how do we even resolve it? We just.
So I think when you were able to link back to the fact that there was something else, I think you probed.
Yeah.
And I eventually now said that, see, the honest truth is that this issue, you didn't apologize. Well, she said, I apologize. I said, you sent a text message and I would have appreciated because when the whole visa thing was happening, you were talking face to face.
Wow.
I expected that there would be an apology and then you now understood and then you now apologize properly.
Yeah. And
when you apologize properly, I think it wasn't immediately after I now spoke and said the Nigeria thing that I understand football. Okay, no. I think we sorted it out and we became okay. And then you now said, because when we were crying about the Nigeria thing, you said something that, just so you know, I don't even want to watch the final match with you anymore. I mean, I responded, I said that's fine. I was not going to ask you before. So that's what she said in anger and in hurt, that I don't want to watch the match with you anymore. And that was it. So after we now made up, she now said, well, I shall going to watch the match together. I said, of course, now. And that's how we now said. I think it was later on when I now brought it up. We now spoke about it another time about the whole football thing. When I spoken about it, now told me, okay, watching with your colleagues instead of even asking me, this is how it made you feel and everything and all that. I let you even be the one to say you don't want to watch. But you appreciate that I asked and all that. And that's how we settled it. So.
And can I even just touch on when you had said that I had apologized over text. Yeah. And I remember that after I had apologized over text and I saw that there was still something going on, I had gone and I bought you a gift.
Yeah, she bought me a gift and then she now gave me a card and she wrote, all these very cute, poetic card, and she wrote something inside the card and everything, and it was an apology inside the card. Yeah. And I read it, I was like, wow, she has gone through this.
At this point, he cannot be angry again.
I can't be angry. She's my wife now, so I freed and I was happy and I was doing it.
But you were still talking.
But I was still tricky. I said, the first apology you did via text, the second one via text, the third one you wrote inside card. Which one am I going to hear from your mouth? But I was like, oh, I don't have the energy to. So
and that's the thing, right? Is the fact that I was apologizing the way
you would like to be apologized to.
Meanwhile, I should have apologized
in the way that I would like to be apologized.
Exactly, and that's something that we see that people usually do. When they say, but I apologize to him now, but I spoke to him now. But the thing is, did you apologize in the way that
there are languages of apology?
Exactly, the person would receive it. My husband is the kind of person that if he wants to apologize, he wants to know that you actually are remorseful and that you kind of understand how it made him feel, and you come from that angle. If you just say, oh babe, I'm sorry for that thing I did. What's the thing you did? How do you know it affected me? Exactly. And before I used to fight to someone, I was like, why are you so difficult? Why can't you just say sorry and move on?
Say, I'm sorry. And my next question is, for what?
For what? Do you get? And for me, if you want to apologize to me, you can just tell me, oh babe, I'm sorry. And that's okay for me. And then I couldn't understand why it was never okay for him. I'm just like, before I used to think it was a pride thing. Just like, so you want me to grovel at your feet? You want me to lick your feet because I'm apologizing? But I realized that that's how he wants to be apologized to. And there is nothing wrong with it. For me, I want gifts.
Exactly.
Nothing wrong
so
with
you like, after you apologize, say sorry, and you can even buy her a gift. And for me, it's like, how are you buying me gifts? Just tell me I'm sorry. Let me know that this thing that you are saying, you understand how it makes me feel. And the reason why I was sharing this is that, first of all, know your spouse's apology language. You can actually ask that question. Okay, when you are hurt, how do you like people to say I'm sorry? Some people would like you to say, I will make it up to you. Which is do an act of restitution. And that one, actually, their own is that just let your behavior be changed. Change behavior. There's a book, I don't know who it's called.
Apology language.
I think it's Gary Chapman also. It's called Apology Languages, or 5 Languages of Apology. So you guys can search it out and you can see there are different ways that you like. Some people don't just say I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And that's how mine is. That's why I love when she apologizes to me. She say, I just want to say I'm sorry for doing this and that. I can understand how me doing this made you feel.
Yeah.
Which means that she's acknowledging that feeling, and that's how, I like to be apologized. So I think that's the first thing we want to pick out of it. Learn how your partner likes to be apologized to. And secondly, after any quarrel, make sure
every
party is good before moving on, because things seep into. That's how maybe sometimes you can hear a spouse 2 years down the line say, that's how in Morocco this and this and this.
Morocco like, of 96.
Yeah, like from where to where? Because things were not sorted out. And if you're that partner that likes to move over things so that there's no conflict, you might be doing your marriage a great disservice, because over time, we're human beings. Things will always come out and rear their ugly heads. And it's at the wrongest of times that they rear their ugly heads, So make sure that during quarrels or during conflicts, that every party, especially the party that has been hurt, make sure that person is actually really good. And to people that are the ones that when they tell you, are you okay? And you say, I'm okay. If you know you're not okay,
I was the champion of it.
If you know you're not really good, that apology has not entered well. See it. Like one thing we always used to do is, like, for example, if she apologizes to me, I'll say, your apology is not accepted though. Which means go back to the drawing board. There's something you are missing. I hear your apology, but I don't accept the apology.
Not accepted.
And for me, when I say that, it means that you've apologized, but I don't feel like you are sincere about
that. You've hit the right.
Because some people just want to say I'm sorry. Some people are very good at saying I'm sorry, but there's no remorse. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, and there's no remorse. So for me, I feel apologies as opposed to me hearing or reading it. I feel them. So if you know that apology is not accepted by your partner or whatever, let them know that this apology you gave, thank you, I appreciate it, but I don't really accept it.
And in even saying I don't accept it, it's not for you to shit on their effort. It's to say, I can understand that this would have taken you a great deal to actually apologize. However, I don't feel like
so and so.
Is he the right spot?
So leave a trail for them so they can understand how you think. How you think moving forward. So I think that's majorly what we wanted to share from this. And because of that, we didn't talk for. It was just a long period of time. But we were able to settle it because we were able to pinpoint what the issue was. So we're not robots.
We are not.
We are human.
We're not with lovey-dovey.
Exactly. And remember, we still have to record after. So we still have to record. We recorded on the night of Nigeria's.
We're already cool by then.
We're cool, but it's what happens behind the scenes.
True.
So I hope you guys learned something. She has given you her own part of it.
She has given that's very distant. What is my she?
We have given you our part.
My beautiful, lovely wife has.
That's a she.
When you say she's anybody. She's a random term for it.
My wife and I have given you.
My wife and I. Can you put some respect to my name?
Can you end the show?
So my husband and I has shared with you some of the valuable lessons we've learned. We hope it has blessed you. As always, subscribe, comment, like, do all of that.
Stuff, and go and buy that book and learn about languages of apology.
Yes, it will do you good.
Yes.
Mighty good.
Anyways, once again, my name is Nino.
My name is Lulu.
And this is Thriving at Love and Relationships.